Hi, it's Luna here with Moonflower Herbal Wellness. Today I want to make dumplings. I love dumplings. I love Chinese food and I want to make it as healthy as possible. I buy them out of the store, I buy the veggie ones. But I noticed that with the veggie ones, there's a lot of extra stuff in the actual dumpling dough, so I don't buy them that often. And in the filling of the veggie filling of the dumpling, there's usually a soy or some type of soy protein that gives you that like little chunks, like there's little chunks of meat in there. I don't miss meat, so I don't want that in my dumpling. So today I'm going to show you how to make the veggie dumplings. Now I'm going to use some organic sprouted whole grain spelt flour, and I got this flour from the DeKalb Farmers Market over in Decatur, Georgia, which is where I'm from, although that's not where I am now. And all we need is the flour and warm water to make the dough. The dough that when you buy the dumplings is got a whole lot of extra stuff in it that I feel is unnecessary because it's in the frozen section. So I'm going to make these fresh today. So the recipe calls for 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, but I'm going to use this sprouted flour, and we'll see how they come out. Okay. Now this is my measuring cup for my dry ingredients. You use this for dry ingredients, or you use one like this for dry ingredients. This measuring cup is for wet ingredients. So you should have 2 different types of measuring cups when you're working in your kitchen. So I need these. I also have my ceramic bowl. I have a sieve, although it doesn't call for the flour to be sifted. I guess I'm just used to sifting the flour, especially, when I used to make cakes with my mom. She always sifted the flour. So I'm going to sift the flour and we'll see how it comes out. And we'll also need a rolling pin. First, we're going to measure our cups of we're going to measure our flour in the cup, and then we will get our water, and I put my water in the kettle so the water is already hot. This is a 1 cup measuring cup, and it calls for 2.5 cups. So I'm going to get the larger measuring cup, which is 1.5, and that way we'll have exactly 2 cups. And there you go. I know what you said, she ain't never ready, but she ready though. Okay, so I'm going to put 1.5 cups of flour into my measuring cup, and yeah, I put it inside the bowl, my measuring cup inside the bowl, so that I don't waste any of my flour. And I don't want to pack the flour, but I was just trying to get a few of those lumps out. So there we go with 1.5, and because it calls for 2 cups, 2.5 cups of flour, I'm going to take this 1 cup measure now, because this was my 1.5 cup measure. I'm going to take my 1 cup measure now and put flour in there. There we go. And as a matter of fact, I did pretty good. I didn't waste any, so there's no extra. I'm going to pour the flour into the sieve because it's already measured out just right. I'm going to sift it. This will help break up the lumps that are in the flour. And I'm not going to sift it fine, which means I'm only going to sift it the one time. And let me see if you can see that. Can you see those lumps? Yeah, there we go. So there was lumps in the flour. Now I'm going to pour this other one in there, and then whatever lumps are left over, I will take and see if I can get them broken up with the fork. So now I'm going to sift that 1.5 cup. Of flour. I do this because there's flour on the side of the sift. Now I'll take this and we'll break up some of those lumps in the flour and continue to sift until I get it all. Oh yeah, that did very well. Until I can get it all sifted. Oh yeah, that's coming out really good there. Let's see. Oh, there we go. And if you can see that, there's just a little bit left in there, and I'm just going to pour that in there. All right, so we're done with our sift, and we're done with our measuring cup. I'm going to set those to the side. Now I need 3/4 cups of water. But before I put my water in, I like to have my dumplings with a little seasoning. And the recipe does say to put 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but I'm gonna add some granulated onion powder to give it some flavor. And I'm gonna also add a little garlic powder. And no, I can't tell you how much that is. I'm just gonna season it to taste. Once I mix it up, I'll give it a little taste. And I like using this Nature's seasoning. And I think I've told you about it before. It's salt, black pepper, sugar, spices, natural onion flavor, natural garlic flavor, parsley, celery seed, and it has some calcium sulfate, and that calcium sulfate just keeps it from clumping up. So I'm going to use some of this, but you know, you use if you that to your discretion. If you know, if there's an ingredient in there that you don't like the calcium sulfate, I could make this myself. But since I'm not the only one that cooks, my husband also cooks, it's much more convenient. So now I will stir that in here. I should have added a little salt. Here. Pinch of salt. There we go. I feel like I want to sneeze. Like some of that seasoning went up my nose. Okay, excuse me. And no, I didn't sneeze in my hand. So I'm good over here. I'm going to taste this. That's perfect. All right, I'll wash my hands now. Oh, and I forgot, you also need some cling wrap because you want to let your dough sit and rest for about 30 minutes to an hour. All right, now I'm going to pour 3/4 of a cup of water, of this water, warm or hot water in here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. It still has steam on it and everything. And we're going to add this in slowly while mixing. Make a little in the center of your dough. Let's see, let me bring it down just a little bit. You can see that. Hold up. So I'm mixing, putting the water in the center of the dough and then bringing the flour down into the middle of the dough. Seems to be coming together pretty good. And guess what? It smells good. It smells good because I seasoned the actual flour itself. Now, you don't want the dough to be too wet, but then if it's too wet, it'll be sticky. If it's too dry, let's see, let me do this right here. Mix some of that in there. If it's too dry, it'll fall apart. Because eventually I'm going to put my hand in here and continue to mix. I'm going to just pour the rest of that in there. And I may need some more water. And I say that because the recipe calls for all-purpose flour. And you guys know I didn't use all-purpose flour. I used the sprouted grain spelt flour because that's what I prefer. All right, let's get this mixed up. Oh yeah, that's coming along. So this is called kneading, K-N-E-A-D-I-N-G, kneading the dough, which is bringing the dough together with the water so that it forms a ball. Also, some of it is stuck to the bottom of the bowl, and I'm going to make sure I get all of that. I don't want to leave any of my dough or flour in the bowl. I want it to all help form the dough. And I don't think I need any more water in here. No, because it's coming together nicely. I've got a little bit of it stuck to my hand, but the ball is forming. Let's see, I'll take the fork and get this off. The ball is forming exactly how I want it to form. If it's any wetter, then it would really be sticky. And this is just where, you know, I started out and it was stuck to my hand where there was water in here. So when the dough actually rests, that gives time for the water to absorb into the dough. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's see, let's make sure we get all the white part, which is still the flour, into this so it's mixed up really well. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'll press that in some. You can see that is called kneading the dough. I didn't want to do it on the countertop just yet. And if you do it on your countertop, you'll have to add a little flour to your countertop so that your dough doesn't stick to the countertop or whatever it is that you're going to knead it in. But because I had already did it in the bowl, there's flour in the bowl, so it is not, as you see, it's not sticking to the bowl. All right, this looks perfect, guys. So I still see some actual flour here. Maybe I don't have it done enough so that little flakes of flour on the outside actually go in there and absorb, and the dough is warm. All right, now I'm going to roll it into a ball. And that looks perfect. Roll it into this ball. And, oops. And that's our finished product for, oops. This is our finished product for right now. So I'm going to take my saran wrap. I'm going to put it on the ceramic bowl here. And I would suggest that you use a stainless steel bowl or ceramic bowl or glass bowl when you do this. Yeah, that's good right there. Now this will give a chance for all those flavors to come together, any excess flour in there to come together, and that's it. So I will be back once this rises. We will take it out of the bowl, roll it on the counter, separate it, and then make our dumplings. All right, guys, I'll see you in a little bit.